Hello everyone, I am Kerstina. Welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the latest news updates. Joanna Duggar has never been the loudest or most outspoken of the Duggar kids. In fact, for years, she was often described as one of the more quiet and go-with-the-flow siblings in the massive family of 19 children. But in a recent conversation, Joanna may have just said something that has the internet buzzing, and it's all about her mom, Michelle Duggar. The moment happened when Joanna was talking about her own parenting style. She and her husband, Austin Forsyth, now have kids of their own, and Joanna was explaining what they do differently from how she was raised. In the middle of it, she made a remark about Michelle not effectively raising all 19 kids. And that one word, effectively, has people wondering, was that just a casual, honest statement? Or was it a little jab, maybe even a gentle form of shade aimed at her mom? If you've followed the Duggar family for any length of time, you know that public criticism of the parents, especially from their own children, is rare. For years, the family presented a united front. Michelle was always shown as the soft-spoken, endlessly patient mother who somehow managed to raise all those kids without ever raising her voice. But Joanna's comment cracked that perfect image, even if just a little. She didn't go into full detail in the moment, but she explained that when you have 19 kids, there's just no way to give each one the individual attention they might need. She said something along the lines of how certain systems her parents used, like the buddy system, meant that older siblings were often responsible for raising the younger ones. In other words, Michelle wasn't personally hands-on with each child all the time. Now, to be fair, this isn't exactly a shocking revelation for longtime Duggar watchers. Fans of 19 kids and counting on have seen the buddy system in action. We've watched little kids get paired up with older siblings who would help with everything from meals and baths to schoolwork and bedtime routines. But hearing Joanna say it herself and phrase it as not effectively raising them feels different. It's not just an outsider's opinion, it's from someone who grew up inside that system. Some viewers think this might be Joanna's way of gently acknowledging the flaws in her upbringing. After all, in recent years, other Duggar siblings like Jill Duggar-Dillard and Jinger Duggar-Vuolo have spoken out more openly about their childhoods. Jill has talked about strict rules, lack of independence, and how the IBLP, Institute in Basic Life Principles, teachings shape their lives. Jinger has written a book about disentangling her faith from fear-based teachings. But Joanna has mostly stayed out of that conversation until now. Her comment is also interesting because of her choice of words. She didn't say Michelle failed or was a bad mom. She said not effectively. It's softer, more diplomatic. Almost like she's saying, look, she tried her best, but with 19 kids, there's only so much you can do. And honestly, most people would agree with that. Raising even 1 or 2 kids is a massive job. 19 is, well, it's basically running a small school and daycare all at once without the staff. But still, it's the first time Joanna has made a comment that could be read as a critique. And in Duggar world, even a mild critique can feel huge. After the remark, some fans online began dissecting it. One person wrote, "Joanna is finally seeing what Jill and Jinga have been saying all along." Another said, "This is the nicest way possible to say, my mom couldn't handle it." Others defended Michelle, saying Joanna was just stating the obvious and that it wasn't meant to be shady. But whether or not she intended it as shade, the truth is, Michelle's parenting style has been controversial for years. Let's not forget blanket training, the practice of teaching toddlers to stay on a blanket by using rewards for good behavior and, in some teachings, physical discipline for disobedience. This method has been criticized as harsh and outdated by many parenting experts. Then there's the buddy system, which, while efficient, also placed a lot of responsibility on kids who were barely teenagers themselves. Joanna was one of those middle Duggar kids who had both older siblings and younger ones to help take care of. She knows firsthand what that looked like day to day. In the Duggar home, effectiveness wasn't necessarily measured by how happy or independent the kids were, but by whether they followed the rules, obeyed quickly, and maintained the family's values. That's a very different metric than most modern parenting discussions, which focus on emotional connection, creativity, and personal development. So, when Joanna uses the word effectively, she might be comparing her childhood to the way she parents her own kids now. She said before that she and Austin try to spend a lot of individual time with each child, play with them one-on-one, and really listen to them, things that might not have been as common in a household of 21 people. It's also possible that Joanna wasn't consciously trying to shade her mom at all. Sometimes when you're talking about your own parenting, you naturally compare it to what you experienced as a kid. And when that childhood involved a literal army of siblings, the differences are going to be obvious. But it's worth noting that in Duggar history, the smallest cracks in the perfect family image have often led to bigger revelations later. Jill's first comments about her upbringing were mild, just little hints that things weren't exactly as they seemed. Over time, she shared more openly. Jinger's first public thoughts about IBLP were also careful and measured before she eventually wrote a whole book on the topic. Could Joanna be starting her own slow shift towards speaking more candidly? Maybe. Or maybe this was just a one-off comment that people are reading too much into. Either way, it's making waves because it challenges the long-standing idea that Michelle Duggar had it all under control. In reality, keeping 19 kids fed, clothed, and educated is a Herculean task, and even the most devoted parent would need help. For Michelle, that help came in the form of her own children stepping into mini-parent roles. For Joanna, the experience of growing up that way might be one reason she's taking a different approach now. She's talked about wanting her kids to have more independence and more personal attention. She's also been seen doing activities with her kids that involve a lot of play and exploration, which contrasts with the very structured environment she grew up in. The whole situation also raises questions about what effective parenting really means. Is it about keeping everyone fed and safe? Is it about raising kids who share your values? Or is it about making sure each child feels seen, heard, and supported as an individual? For the Duggars, the first two seem to be the focus. For Joanna, it might be the third. Some fans think this is just the natural evolution of parenting styles between generations. Every parent looks at what their own parents did and decides what they want to keep and what they want to change. In Joanna's case, maybe she's keeping the family closeness, but changing the way it's built. Others see it as part of a bigger pattern, one where more and more Duggar kids are speaking out, even if it's just in small ways, about the things they want to do differently from Michelle and Jim Bob. For now, Joanna hasn't clarified or expanded on her comment. But whether she meant it as a critique or not, she's given the internet plenty to talk about. And in the world of reality TV families, sometimes a single word is all it takes to start a whole new chapter in the conversation. Hello, lovely viewers, welcome to my channel. I am Christina. Hope your day is so well. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.